The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus heard of the death of John the Baptist, he withdrew in a boat to a deserted place by himself. The crowds heard of this and followed him on foot from their towns. When he disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, and he cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it's already late. Dismiss the crowds so that they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." Jesus said to them, "There is no need for them to go away. Give them some food yourselves." But they said to him, 5 loaves and 2 fish are all we have here." Then he said, "Bring them here to me." And he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to the disciples, who in turn gave them to the crowds. They all ate and were satisfied, and they picked up the fragments left over, 12 wicker baskets full. Those who ate were about 5,000 men, not counting women and children. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
If you paid close enough attention to the Gospel today, the first line says, after Jesus heard of the death of John the Baptist. And then it says he tried to go off to a deserted place to be by himself. He was probably kind of sad. You know, this was his cousin. He knew John the Baptist. He had been baptized in the Jordan by John the Baptist. He was also probably kind of scared, because if they were after John, and if in fact they beheaded John, does that mean that they were going to come after Jesus as well? Perhaps. So he was probably in one of those moods. I didn't say he was in a bad mood. He was probably in one of those moods where he just wanted to be alone. Think things over, pray things over, kind of decide, what his next steps were going to be. And so he got in a boat and went to a deserted place, and lo and behold, the people followed him. And he probably thought, give me a break. But he didn't say that. Instead, he continued to teach and preach to them and heal their sick. And then it says at the end of the time that they were spending together, the disciples said, okay, send them home so they can go buy something to eat, or send them to the closest villages. And Jesus says, once again, with that attitude, he said, no, don't send them away. Don't you understand me yet? Keep them here and bring me the food that you have. I'll take care of it. No, you take care of it. You bring me the food. You give them something to eat. It's something very much should ring in our hearts anytime we see people who are suffering, people who need something to eat, people who are poor, and we go, oh, well, let's go to the St. Vincent de Paul, or to the Knights of Columbus, or to whoever, the Capuchin soup kitchen, and they can get them something to eat. No, you get them something to eat. That's what Jesus wants us to remember. It's your concern, too. It's your responsibility, too. All 3 readings today talk to us about the great love that God has for us. St. Paul says that nothing can separate us from the love of God. No matter what attitude or mood you're in, no matter how bad you feel, no matter how good or bad your health is, or your financial situation, or your family situation, nothing can separate us from the love of God. And the prophet Isaiah tells us in the first reading, "Come to me, all you who are thirsty, all you who are hungry. I'll give you more than you can ever desire, more than that which will fill you up." The generosity of God is so tremendous. So tremendous, but he reminds us in the gospel, no, you give them something to eat. We too have responsibilities. We can't just rely on Jesus. We can't just expect somebody else to do it all the time. As great as these different societies do, and the Capuchin soup kitchen, and whatever, we too have to be involved. We too have to take responsibility. We too have to be willing to give them something to eat. And then of course, through the love of God, it all gets taken care of. But we can't just only rely on God as well. We have to rely on ourselves, or better, God relies on us.